unlock your world one word at a time, because language isn't just about learning, it's about living. Let's get started. Wonderful listeners, welcome to another episode of the Languages Pedagogy Podcast. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of teaching languages to very young learners, specifically children under the age of 5. Early language learning is incredibly powerful, but it requires specific techniques and approaches tailored to young minds and short attention spans. In this two-part series, we'll explore foundational strategies for engaging young learners, children, and making language learning fun, effective, and meaningful. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just curious about early childhood language acquisition, this episode will give you insights and practical tips for fostering language skills in the youngest learners. Let's jump in.
Audio Jungle.
So, to effectively teach young children a new language, it's important to understand how they naturally acquire language. First, the language acquisition device. Young children have an innate ability to pick up language through exposure and interaction. They don't need formal grammar lessons. Instead, they absorb language by hearing it in context. Second, critical period for language learning. The brain's ability to learn new languages or to learn language is at its peak in early childhood, which is why introducing a second language at this age can lead to high levels of fluency and natural pronunciation. Third, sensory and interactive learning. Children under 5 learn best through hands-on, sensory experiences. Language acquisition at this age is more about hearing, seeing, and doing than it is about rote memorization. So what is this first takeaway? Young children learn language naturally through exposure, interaction, and sensory activities, making this age perfect for introducing a second language. Creating an immersive environment is essential for teaching languages to young children. 1. Surrounding children with a target language. Integrate the target language into daily routines and activities. Use it for greetings, play, snack time, and other interactions to create a language-rich environment. 2. Using visual aids and props. Visuals help young children associate words with meaning. Use flashcards, toys, or real objects to reinforce vocabulary visually and make language learning tangible. 3. Incorporating music and songs. Music is a powerful tool for young learners. Songs with repetition, rhymes, and simple phrases can help children learn vocabulary, pronunciation, and intonation in a fun way. So what are the takeaways here? An immersive language-rich environment that uses visuals and music supports natural language acquisition in young children. Play-based learning is one of the most effective ways to teach young children a new language. First, using toys and games. Incorporate language learning into playtime with toys and games that encourage verbal interactions. Puppets, puzzles, and building blocks can be used to introduce new words and phrases. Second, storytelling and role-playing. Young children love stories, and storytelling allows you to introduce new vocabulary in context. Role playing also gives children a chance to practice speaking in the target language in a playful setting. Third, movement-based learning. Engage children physically by incorporating movement into learning. Simple games like Simon Says or Follow the Leader encourage listening skills and vocabulary comprehension while keeping children active. So what are the takeaways here? Play-based learning, including toys, storytelling, and movement, keeps children engaged and reinforces language skills in an enjoyable way. Young children benefit greatly from consistent routines and repeated exposure to vocabulary. First, daily routines for vocabulary practice. Use everyday routines like snack time, nap time, and clean up to reinforce vocabulary. Simple phrases, repeated daily, help children remember and use new words naturally. Second, repetition with variation. Repetition is essential, but variation keeps it interesting. Use the same words in different contexts and activities, which reinforces learning while keeping children engaged. Third, creating theme-based vocabulary sets. Focus on theme vocabulary, like colors, animals, or family members, to provide structured learning without overwhelming children. Using themes helps children connect words with concepts. What are the takeaways in this part? Repetition within daily routines and theme vocabulary sets strengthens vocabulary retention and reinforces language in a natural, structured way. Parental involvement plays a big role in young children's language acquisition, even if parents don't speak the target language fluently. First, encouraging bilingual exposure at home. Encourage parents to integrate simple phrases or vocabulary from the target language into daily routines, even if they aren't fluent. Consistent exposure reinforces what children learn in a formal setting. Second, creating home-based language activities. Share activities like songs or storybooks that parents can use at home. These tools allow parents to support language learning in a relaxed, familiar environment. Third, providing resources for parents. Offer simple resources like flashcards or recordings to help parents practice the language with their children. Involvement from parents enhances learning and reinforces language use outside of class. What are the takeaways here? Family engagement supports language learning and reinforces lessons at home, making a language learning experience holistic and continuous. So, in part 1 of our series on teaching young language learners, we've explored foundational strategies for creating language-rich environment and making language learning fun and accessible for children under 5. In part 2, we'll dive deeper into interactive techniques, building comprehension, and tips for overcoming challenges specific to young learners. And before we're heading to the next part, I hope you really enjoyed today's episode. And I just want to remind you that new episodes drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure to tune in weekly for your dose of thought-provoking conversations. You can also pay a visit to our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube as well. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and follow us for more. And thank you for joining me on the Languages Pedagogy Podcast. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll continue exploring teaching techniques for our youngest learners. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and embrace the magic of languages.